Today is pretty much a circular walk. I'm going to go along that ridge line. I think that's Sour How, and we've got Swallow probably in the cloud up there, right the way to the end, and then back down over the tongue, which you can see in the middle. But there is that's a circular bit, but there is an offshoot at Wansfell, which is up there. So I either do that at the end or the beginning, the spur off. I think I'm going to do it at the beginning. So we've had a series of little footpaths off the road where we've parked, and I'm on Nanny Lane now, which will take me pretty much most of the way up to Wansfell Pike. Wansfell Pike, the first one. This is Nanny Lane, quite a steep little lane. Not sure if you can get the gradient on this. Looking back down down the lane, you can see the other side of the valley, which we'll be going up later. Sour How and Swallows, then into the clouds up the valley. I'm actually at the junction now with the footpath and Nanny Lane, and we're taking the footpath that way. There is a faded sign there, and I believe the pike is at the top near the wall that you can see on the horizon. This is the top of Wansfell Pike. I'm overlooking Windermere down there, fabulous view. You can just make out Nanny Lane that we walked up earlier, on the fell side and on the other side of the valley. I'm in the quarry now. I'm following the track into the quarry, and I'm hoping to get or make a footpath out at the other end, but there's nothing really shown on the map, so this is a bit of trusting to luck here. So this is it, the top of Sour House. As you can see, it's very grassy, undulating. There hasn't been a path at all to get up. I've had to pretty much fight my way up the hillside without any paths at all. I got out of the quarry following an old sheep track through a dismantled wall. Probably not the best route, but it's the route I took. Over there is Sallows, where we're going to next. We're going to go down there, follow the wall, hang a right to Sallows. This is the summit of Sallows. Very boggy today, and a lot of rain this last week. And I'm going to take this path off of Sallows, and hopefully it'll cut back to the path that I was on earlier. That's where we're heading. Yeah, it's a very good path. We're heading up to Yoke now. Not far to go. Summit's just at the top up there. Very easy navigating, very good. Just approaching the top of Yoke. Got some pretty splendid views from up here at Windermere. That's the estuary beyond. This is the top of Yoke. In the background you can see Kentmere Pike, where we were the other day, and Harterfell, and that was the pass that we dropped down to. So over in the cloud will probably be the Marble Bell Hill, and this is Hill Bell, which we're going up next. At the top of Hill Bell there's actually two piles of stone at the top. Quick pano. In the background you can see Windermere, and that's the first one this morning. And zooming round, Kentmere, Harterfell. I think high rises in High Street and high rises in the clouds over there. We're heading down to this one here, which is Froswick, but then we're going to head up to Thornthwaite Crag beacon again, which I did a few weeks ago. But I've got to do that to drop down the pass to head up into the cloud to Stony Cove Pike. And we'll drop down to the pass and find a footpath out the path down the valley. And then we'll pick up the top of the tongue, which you can see in the bottom of the valley. This is the top of Froswick. In the background through the gap you can just make out Ullswater. So we're heading up next into the cloud. Thornthwaite Crag beacon. The irony of it is this is a high point of the day, and it's one that I've already climbed, so it wasn't one I was after. Hey ho. Well, that's the top of Stony Cove Pike. That was a really tough climb, really craggy, extremely steep. It was certainly hands and knees. I'm not looking forward to going down there with my dog pulling me down the slope. So there's Thornthwaite Crag beacon. You can follow where we've been now. So we go down along, I think that's called Wander Scar down there, and then the first lump is Froswick, and the larger one is Eel Bell. Then we go down to Yoke. We carried on to Sallows, and then over there right in the back was Sour House. The clump of trees you can see on the hillside was where the quarry is. We dropped down to the valley, and the first one of the day is over there. There you go, that's Thornthwaite Crag. That's what we've just climbed up and come back down. Extremely steep, probably steeper than that side, which is what we came down from the beacon. So all we've got left now is head down the valley over the tongue, which you can see in the middle, and then I think we'll drop back down to that caravan park, back to the car. I'm walking up the tongue from the back side of the tongue, I guess. Not very many paths at all. You keep getting quad tracks that seem to disappear in all sorts of different angles. There's a cairn that was marked on the map, so definitely heading in the right direction. I've picked up another quad track here, which will shoot off in the wrong direction, so I'm going to have to continue across this moorland where it's pretty much pathless. Well, this is the tongue, and it's been a real slog to get through boggy moorland, pathless nightmare. But I'm here, and hopefully it'll be a bit easier going down to the car. It's raining, bogging out. So this is route number 10. Don't forget to fill your book in, which is now getting very full indeed. I'll walk this on the 26th of May, this walk. I have to say, if I was to do this walk again, there's various things I would do, because it's been such a long day. First and foremost, I'd do it in reverse. So I'd go up the tongue from the short sharp side, with the southerly side, and come straight back down it, and then follow the valley up, because it was such a slog and it was really difficult nav. It was just a nightmare coming up from the other side of the tongue, which I thought would be a breeze. I'd also probably do Wansfell on its own, although it all fits into the time of the day. It does make the day quite a long day adding Wansfell to it. So again, that'd be personal preference, but probably Wansfell should be done on its own. If you were doing a reverse, I would definitely avoid the quarry. It was quite difficult to get out of, and probably not the best route. I'd probably descend, I'd go past Sour House and carry on, and then descend a little bit further on, which is probably the right thing to do. I did Hartsop Route 14 last week, pretty much because I'd missed it out of the book, and so I did it as a one on its own, and it was such a steep climb that I actually added Stony Cove to it. Now as you saw in the video, Stony Cove was such a steep climb and rocky and a scramble that it's actually best approached from Hartsop, as I did the other day. So I wouldn't even add Hartsop to this route, which again reduces the mileage somewhat, which probably does give the opportunity to do Wansfell. So, but I have to say, you don't underestimate the Tongue. If you do decide to go over and down the other side, it's boggy, it's pathless. There's fences where you don't expect them. You're having to follow fence lines until you get to a gate. It made what I thought would be an easy walk pretty difficult. I think that the views actually were quite good when you went in cloud. The ridge line over Froswick and Yoke and Ilbel was absolutely special. Lovely views. So today's been a long day for me. This route that I took was 19.6 mile, and the ascent was 5,400 feet. Now I was actually physically walking for just under 9 hours, and the actual whole day took me about 9.5 hours. So I didn't have much time to do stopping or videoing because it was such a long day. I pretty much had to get on with it, particularly when I found out that I had to be back in time for dinner. If you were to do the route the same way I did, you've still got to avoid that quarry. As I say, it wasn't the best plan in the world to go through there, so I'd definitely do it differently that way. But fabulous going over that ridge line. Oh, that was quite special.